One of the hardest things to do is to realize that everything that you've invested in, everything that you've tried to accomplish, everything that you believed in is actually a lie. Hi, my name is James, and this is my take on reality. In this episode, we're going to talk about Janelle and her newfound ability to see through Cody and his transparent lies. Now, before we get started, I would ask that if you're getting anything from the content, you're enjoying it, you're liking it, you're smiling with it, go ahead and help a brother out by clicking that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. It helps me out, helps the channel out. Hey, who doesn't want to help a brother out? So remember that HBO special, hit the subscribe button and help a brother out. If you're already a member, thank you. I really appreciate it. If you want to continue to support the channel, you can go ahead and give us a thumbs up. Let me know that you're still enjoying the content and leave a take down below. Let me know what you're thinking on the subject matter. Thanks. Now let's get it. Now, as we talk about Janelle and Cody, one of the things that really struck me is the idea that for the first time, I think Janelle is really starting to come to terms with the reality that she is in a desperate financial situation because she has been contributing to the family as heavily as she has. And this is where the big lie comes in, because Janelle has been operating under the premise that the family will always act as a unit and will always take care of its members. And what she's realizing is that the family is starting to look out for themselves. So you have Mary, doing her thing. She realized early that things weren't going her way. She had an opportunity with the bed and breakfast. She presented it to the family. The family didn't buy into it. She said, well, the hell with it, I'm going to do it by myself. She got herself an asset. Christine, she did pretty much the same thing. She realized early on that things weren't going the way they should. The family wasn't really working for her. And I think that ultimately when she was in Vegas, she realized in Vegas that she might have to start preparing for her exit. So when they moved to Arizona, she made sure that one of the contingency plans for her to go to Arizona was that she was going to be able to purchase a home. Christine was in a situation where she had the house in Las Vegas, and that house had a mortgage. So she wanted to purchase a home in Flagstaff. And the bank basically would have told her, there's no way you make enough money where you can afford both properties. So in order for you to get this property, you have to have a substantial down payment, which clears above and beyond probably the 20%. Using 20% of a down payment would alleviate any possibility that you would have to pay a penalty, which is like a PMI or a mortgage insurance, basically, for the bank lending you that money. So you don't have to worry about that. So it has to be at least 20% or above for us to feel comfortable about lending the money. They want you to have a certain amount of equity, a certain amount of ownership, and a certain amount of responsibility for the price of the home. Because if they're giving out all the money and you're giving out a little bit of money, then you have no problem walking away from the house. But if you put in a substantial amount of money and your money is sitting next to their money, they feel more comfortable lending you that money. Basically, Cody and Robin had co-signed for Christine's house. Now, once her home sold in Las Vegas, she was able to take the proceeds from that house and give Cody and them the money back, pay some money probably down on a new mortgage, and that's how she was able to remove Cody's name from her home in Flagstaff. That also freed Cody and Robin up to be able to purchase the new home that Robin wanted, that she currently lives in, the $1 million home that she has. Now, that's the only reason why Cody's name came off of Christine's house, because he wanted to purchase Robin's big house. Had that not happened, Cody's name still would have been on Christine's house, and when she tried to separate, Cody would have either denied her the ability to sell the house, which would be in his purview. And that's one of the things that I think a lot of folks are missing is I'm watching some of the other YouTube channels. They don't understand that if I'm a part owner of a house, like me and you buy a house together, and you want to sell the house, I don't have to sell the house. I don't have to divest my asset. You want to sell the house? That's too bad. You can go sell the house to me, but you have to sell the house for what I'm willing to pay for it, because you can't sell the house without me. And that's where Christine would have found herself, because as we see with this last episode, Cody is dead set on keeping that property that Christine was living in. So there's no way in the world that he would have allowed Christine to sell that home, even if she was moving to Utah. If you want to go to Utah, you can go to Utah with flat pockets. is what he would have told her, right? And Janelle is standing there after years of being fed the lie that the family is going to look out for you, that if you want to leave, you don't have to stay. You can leave anytime you want. And if you leave, you're going to take your assets with you, because that's how we do it in the Brown family. If you buy a house or you buy a piece of property, then you can sell that house as you please. Remember when Cody was standing on Coyote Pass and he said, I'm going to break the lot up into 5 separate plots because the pond is going to be one, the sewer system, the sewer hole is going to be on one piece of property, and I'm going to own that property, so that way it stays in the family. Remember when he said that? And that way, because you guys can leave anytime you want, you can sell your property. Well, what he tried to do to Christine was keep her from selling her property and having anything in her name independent of the family. What Janelle is realizing is that Cody is never going to allow her to have a piece of property in her name. And that's part of the thing that I had said before, even with regard to Coyote Pass. He never wanted her to move to Coyote Pass. He's been fighting her the whole way. She's been plowing forward, trying to get her plot built and try to get the land developed and try to move forward with that property. And every step of the way, he stood in the way of her trying to do that. And when he said, oh, okay, yeah, if you go out there, how you going to be out there? Oh, I'm going to get a fifth wheel. Why you going to get a fifth wheel and spend all that money? You know how much she spent on the fifth wheel? $89,000. It's a lot of money. It's a good amount of money. But it's nowhere near the amount that she would have had to pay in order to buy Christine's home. He said during the last episode, oh, yeah, if she would have bought that fifth wheel, she would have been able to buy this house. No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. Because how much did Christine sell her house for? Christine sold her house for $700,000, which gave her, she bought it for like $5,000, so it gave her about $200,000 profit. Good for Christine. Probably a little more because she had put money into the house as well. So she walked away with a good chunk of change that Cody was obviously upset about. But in order for Janelle to qualify for a loan, because again, you have to put down 20%. 20% of $700,000 is $140,000. Again, Janelle spent $89,000 on her RV. So in order for her to be able to purchase Christine's house, she would have had to come up with an additional $50,000 in order for her to be able, $51,000 technically, in order for her to be able to put down the 20%, just the 20% on Christine's home. And that would have locked her money up. And that's not even including the fact that, like she said, if you buy the home, debt to income ratio, there's no way in the world they would allow you to build another home when you owe so much money on the house that you're currently living in, which would be Christine's house. And in order for her to be able to declare it as a rental property, she would have to move somewhere else, stay somewhere else, probably in that fifth wheel, and let somebody live in Christine's house for 2 years for it to fall off and for them to say, oh, this is actually income. This is an investment. This is an asset. It's not a debt. So she's fighting uphill with Cody to try to get this done and get this through to him. The sad part is, much like when she first lost her first lease and she had bought the fifth wheel to move out to the property, she had most likely been telling Cody the entire time, I am losing my lease, I am going to be homeless, and Cody didn't care. Because at the end of the day, the homelessness of Janelle and her child didn't affect him directly. It wasn't going to inconvenience him, so he didn't care whether she was going to be homeless or not. So she had to make a decision, and her decision was, I want to be out on the property. We've lived here for 4 years. We haven't turned a stone on that property. I want to move forward on the property because that's the whole reason why we came out here. So I want to do that. She went out and bought the fifth wheel to try to move the process forward. The whole time, they've been trying to keep her from building on that property. So why have they been trying to keep her from building on that property? Because Cody is trying to take Coyote Pass. I'm going to say it in another video. I'm going to highlight how Cody is trying to manipulate the situation. But Cody is trying to take Coyote Pass. And I've said in another video, and a lot of you had responded. I did a soft poll. A lot of you have responded in affirmation of saying that you believe, too, that Cody is trying to take Coyote Pass. Pass. Because remember, he keeps talking about, oh, we're still going to divide it up into 5 lots. Even though Christine's not here anymore, there's only 3 wives, and technically it would be 4 of us, even if we got the bonus lot for me. That's 4 lots. There are 4 lots there now. Why can't we build on Coyote Pass? Oh, because we're still going to divide it up into 5 lots so that I can start renting things out. Oh, yeah, that's right, because Robin has that big house. What is she going to do? Oh, she's going to rent that out as well. Why would she rent that big house out? The $1 million house. She's not going to be able to put $1 million house on Coyote Pass. You know, the wife who doesn't have any income. How is she going to be able to qualify for a loan to be able to put a property on Coyote Pass? What are they going to use to build that house on Coyote Pass for Robin? Especially if they're giving Janelle her portion of the family money. And that's the question that Janelle keeps asking. And she's going up to it, but she's not crossing that line where she's coming right out saying, I don't see where the math is coming in. One of the things that I always say, I'm not offended that people lie to me. I'm insulted when people tell a lie that questions or causing to question my intelligence. When you insult my intelligence, I am insulted. When you tell a dumb lie, I'm insulted by that. I understand that people are going to be dishonest every now and again, but I take great offense if you don't put any effort into the lie you're telling. What I see is Kody isn't even trying to put effort into the lie he's telling. He's telling Janelle, well, you go ahead, you buy Christine's house, and the family is going to help you buy Christine's house so I can get my name on the mortgage and on the deed, and we're going to give you a little bit of money. Then we're miraculously going to take that same money and we're going to build you a house on Coyote Pass. Isn't that going to be great? What's going to happen is she's going to buy that house out there for Christine. Cody's going to have his name on it, basically having Robin's name on it. Then they're going to say, well, since we gave you that lot, we're going to build houses on Coyote Pass, and we're going to start renting those houses out since you can't really do anything with it because you have this house. Or you can sign this house over to us and maybe we'll help you with trying to build something out there on Coyote Pass if you can come up with the down payment. Like, it's all kinds of crazy and it's all kinds of sketchy. But unfortunately for Kody, Janelle is the one who does the damn books. She's the one that helps with the taxes, take all the information to the taxes. So she knows how much is on the balance sheet. She knows how much is being spent on housing, how much is being spent on as far as expenses, and how much Kody and Robin are taking from that fund. Kody is most likely the only person who has access to that money. And, you know, as the patriarch and the leader, it's only fair that he, the unbiased person, has access to the account. But he's going into the account with Robin right there in his ear. And most likely, where's the money going? Who's spending the money? Let's see. You have Mary, who's been isolated from everything. And she's not getting any money from Kody, I'm sure. She's not getting any of that family money. Mary's actually, from what my understanding, she's actually doing pretty okay for herself financially, so she's not having to go back and ask for money from the family, which is good on Mary. So she's not getting any money. Christine, she most certainly isn't getting any money, especially being as though she left, and Janelle would be aware of that. Christine ain't getting none of the money, so that's 2 of the wives. Janelle knows what she's getting from as far as money from Kody and as far as help from that account. And she knows that when she goes through and she sees all these expenses, she knows that these expenses ain't Mary's or Christine's, as we talked about, and she knows these expenses ain't hers. So the only wife whose expenses these could be is Robin. The sad part is it probably even includes the nanny money. So, like Christine said, what does the nanny do? I mean, the fact that you have 2 kids, your 2 youngest kids are in school now, what do you have a nanny for? What are you still paying a nanny for? That chick shouldn't even be coming to the house. Why is she even coming out anymore? Because, I mean, the kids go to school all day, then you get them off the bus, you basically do their homework with them, you feed them, then you put them in the bed. I mean, what are you doing? So what is the nanny doing? What are you putting this extra money out for? Why are you denying Janelle a house while you're paying somebody who's basically doing nothing? I mean, unless she's in there doing light housework, but then you're paying somebody to come out and clean a house. And what is she vacuuming around Robin? Because she don't have a job either. Man, you ain't got no job. So what are we doing? And that's where Janelle finds herself, and that's why so much of her frustration speaks so loudly to everybody who's watching. I think the reason why so many people are connected with Janelle is because she was fed a line of bull crap And she was eating it. And she was playing by the rules. And she was doing the thing that everybody says it should be done and how it should be done. She was going along. She wasn't questioning. She wasn't asking a whole bunch of stuff. She wasn't fighting or resisting. She was submitting to what Cody wanted. And at the end of the day, she got screwed. That's my take. I'm James. This has been my take on reality, and I'm out. 'Cause I've been living life right like